Doug Karsch flying solo. Look, the big story continues to be what's going on at Michigan State. Breaking last night, Luana K. Simon with her resignation letter. The letter immediately came under heavy scrutiny and criticism for making it sound like she was the fall guy, if you will. But, okay, whatever. It's over. That facet is over. Nassar's trial over. Luana K. out. And so it kind of brings us to what's next. It's certainly not over for the survivors. They will continue to be dealing with this, many of them, for the rest of their lives. And that's the real sad part of this story. But the what's next from a Michigan State perspective, I mean, I may be wrong on this, but I'm going to go with the presumptive position that most people would think that the next is Joel Ferguson out from the Board of Trustees. I don't know how one gets ousted from an elected position like that, but I'm sure there's going to be a movement for his callous disregard and seemingly his inappropriate emphasis on fundraising as opposed to, the what happened. So I'm going to guess that that's what most people want is from the what's next. The debatable one is Mark Hollis. For a variety of reasons, I'm going to guess here that Hollis, if I had to bet what's going to happen, it's probably going to be that he's going to lose his job. And, it may or may not be fair because it's his athletic department and he's kind of the next in line of happened under his watch, but this wasn't an athletic department employee. He was from the School of Osteopathic Medicine. But that doesn't mean there isn't culpability on Hollis's part. And if it is unfair, I mean, part of me is in the that's life camp. And what I mean by that is it's not unusual for someone who's doing a very good job otherwise to lose their job. In fact, people who are doing really good jobs, and Hollis might have a huge, huge swing and miss on this particular case in which it's justified that he is fired, or forced to resign. There are plenty of cases on a day in, day out basis in real life where people who are doing good jobs lose their job. Company makes cutbacks and you get pink slipped. That's life. And at this point, I think anybody who is a major player at Michigan State that could have stopped this being let go sounds like the beginning of the healing. To really make it look like there's change, it strikes me that this might be one of those cases where just they got a clean house. And there might be some people who did nothing wrong that get swept up in that. And yeah, that's life. I made this kind of blanket statement once before when it came to a college sports scandal, and it was the Ed Martin scandal. And this was, 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago in another radio life, where I remember the day sort of went, you know what? As more and more information becomes available, they just need to clean house. And I remember people that were involved in that case calling me and cursing me out. And I'm like, look, it's what I believe. Sorry. And I feel like this might be a similar case. As far as Hollis, I personally don't feel like he is in a need-to-go situation just yet. But that could change. That could change because there's two investigations going on. One, an NCAA investigation. Now, what's the NCAA looking for? There was a story today, it was Det News, I believe, that quoted an NCAA investigator by the name, a guy who served in that role, by the name of Michael Buckner. He's a Florida attorney. And he basically said that the bylaws, if NCAA bylaws that might have been violated here, is about student safety. I mean, then this is going to be across 12 sports. So if the NCAA is going to come in and look at 12 sports with a fine-tooth comb, they're probably going to find something. And maybe they look at the entire athletic department with a fine-tooth comb. And I would imagine that just about any athletic department that gets the NCAA full investigative, team coming in is probably going to have something unearthed, in which case Mark Hollis it might shift into a needs-to-go situation. The other one that's far more serious is the Attorney General coming in for an outside investigation. So, the Attorney General may find something. The funny thing is, too, is that Hollis, people at Michigan State, it seems like every time they talk, the situation gets worse. Hollis has been quiet, and yet some critics are screaming, where's Mark Hollis on all this? Well, he's been quiet, which has been better than what some of what has been said publicly. So, I don't know. 248-539-9797.